Hi Muli, how are you?
Hey there, Josh.
So nice to see you again, man.
You too, man.
What have you been doing lately?
Um, well, last night I've came back from a cool caricature event. Draw a lot of grown people, and it was awesome.
You came
How
you
are
came,
you?
you came back today from a caricature event?
Today I was just arranging some files, some documents, some registered stuff. You know
Nice.
the boring part of doing of being an artist.
Yeah. The administrative part.
Yeah,
The things
exactly.
that we must do, what we don't want to do. You want to paint and draw
Yeah.
all day
So
long.
what do we have for today?
So today, what we're going to do is actually, I think, a great idea that you had. We're going to talk a bit about the personality of not the personality, excuse me, the identity of an artist, of our identity. How will we build our identity? I prepared um, a few questions that I would like to ask you. And for the drawing part, we said that today we're just going to have fun, right? We're going to improvise as we talk and make funny stuff or not funny stuff. We'll see what we'll be drawing. But it's more about the
Yeah.
content today. We're going to ask like meaningful questions. I want to get to know you better and to know, even though I heard some of your stories, I'm curious to dig a bit deeper and know more about Muli and how he started and yeah. So you're ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Sounds like a cool subject for today. I think it's an important subject for today, and let's dive right in.
Okay. So Muli, when did you realize you like to draw?
Well, I realized it pretty early. When I was young, I found myself in kindergarten, really enjoying just drawing everything I could. I remember myself stopping the tape of Lion King, the VCR at a certain point, particular frames that I thought they were cool if I had them on paper, and and those times I remember just doing that by myself. Like I was not with my parents. I was about 5 or 6 years old, and I had um, that really enjoyment, that pure moment with myself, just trying to copy what I see from the TV actually, and that's the point as a kid where I found that I like to draw.
So you're telling me, Muli, that you've been drawing Lion Kings from the VHS, like the old cassette. You've been stopping the frames so you can draw them.
Exactly.
Wow, wow, that's so cool.
And that led to uh, you know uh, becoming that kid in the kindergarten when I was the responsible for drawing everybody's wishes. Like I remember in the breaks, I was drawing lions and crowns and doing that association. If you draw a lion and a crown on top of him, so he's the Lion King.
Nice.
And I was that kid. Yeah.
It's so cool. I didn't know that about you. And it's super early to discover this kind of like talent. It's wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
exactly. I think you landed on a point here that the idea of talent. Like nobody taught me how to draw. Not my parents. I was too young to go to any school, or after how do you call that noon after school game.
Oh, after school. I don't know how to say it. It's not courses. It's like when children go to learn stuff.
A group activity with other kids after school, after kindergarten. I was too young for that, and and that's talent. Like, we can talk about a lot of talent by itself. Like, where does it come from? What's the meaning of talent? What can you do with talent? But I think we will leave it uh, to another time, maybe.
Um, yeah, I'll take notes on those questions, and we can also like say something about it. It's part of like realizing when you like to draw. Like, well, okay, let me ask you this question about talent. What do you think about talent? Is there such a thing?
Yeah, I truly believe that talent is a gift from our ancestors. Um, one of our ancestors was really into the realm of art in any form. Maybe he was a photographer, maybe he was a painter himself, a sculpture. Any of that is a trait that passed through our family genes and led us to be that one new generation with that trait. And the thing about talent, that it's really misunderstood by 90% of our population in the world,
I agree.
meaning that parents mainly don't know what to do and re, um, how to relate to our as a kids to our talents. And what happens is, when we as a parent spots our kids that they have talent, it's amazing. First of all, talent. Let's understand what talent is. Talent is a gift that we can do something as kids that is marvelous in performance. Like, imagine a kid drawing a fully rendered drawing, um, and it's amazing to see as a grown man, a young kid who is barely 6 years old doing that drawing. It is something
Yeah,
great to see,
for sure.
but nobody taught him this. And what happens is, we as parents think, okay, that kid has a talent. Let's throw him in a school or a group activity after school, so he can develop that talent. And here is the first mistake: develop a talent. Now, if a talent is a gift, you cannot develop it. It's something that is fixed in our trait. We can do something that is purely out of our imagination, purely out of our capabilities as kids, and we can do that particular thing. Maybe it's a small girl, a little girl playing the piano, or doing backflips on a small bar, on a narrow bar, um, doing some crazy acrobatics with nobody to teach those kids these stuff. So you send your kids to a kindergarten, and then he is kind of matched up with other kids' talents. They can draw this way, and they can draw this way, and from here the problem begins to even be the problem gets greater um, the problem gets worse because then instead of unlearning the bad habits of how to draw correct so you know and can control your drawing, you're just enforcing that kid to draw with his limitations in your way as a professor if you teach a young kid. And one day at 18 years old, that kid um, knows to draw only in that way. So let me just show that because we have a canvas here. Um, a lot of times I see young students who draw like this with hairy lines. They
For sure.
cross hatch the entire canvas, or they're making those trying to be
Unsecure.
accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those unsecure
with
lines.
one line exactly to line the to land that line correctly and that
I think I've done both.
me too as a
Right?
young kid that's the way I the only way I could draw. I never thought about shapes. I never thought about gesture. Who knew about that stuff? Like was alien to me. And so talent is does not longer exist when you're about 18 to 20 years old. Right now the talent has left you, and it's up to you as a grown man to decide what you do with your life. So you had that little push. So talent can be thought as that divine push as a kid, but there is a problem with identifying and managing that kid into something great. There are stuff you can do as a parent when you see your talented child in any form of art, in any area in life, how to treat that talented kid. But as a kid, growing up with talent and trusting only on talent, then you're gonna realize that you're no longer capable to do that great stuff that were impressive as a grown man. Like if you show me my own drawing as a kid today, it wouldn't impress me. Like it wouldn't. I cannot sell that to anyone. I cannot put it in my portfolio. There is nothing much to do with that except sharing a tear on how beautiful it was as a kid. But it's meaningless if you want to work in the industry. Now you can ask anyone, any professional artist in the industry, does he count on his talent to be successful? Of course not.
No, for sure not.
And
Yeah.
what you need to be a successful professional artist, you gotta have skills. Now skills are the real toolbox that we need in life as a professional artist. Because skills can be learned, can be refined, can be developed, which talent cannot be developed. And skills can change, skills can add up, skills can be shared with others, which talent does not, could not be. I cannot share with you as a kid my talent. When you ask me how you drew that, I cannot tell you, I cannot explain you, I just do it.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with talent and giving too much credit to talent.
I, it's super interesting. I never heard this theory about talent and skill, and I really like it. I can tell you as a father with Theo, But you will tell me like tell his both of his parents like draw, and it's, of course he has talent, but I really can see how he developed his skills from the first moment. You know, at the beginning he couldn't even hold a pen. He couldn't hold it.
Yeah.
He was like, "Arr," it was like, and then when he succeeded, in the first time I remember his first stroke. He was like, whoa, and like, whoa. He discovered that this thing that he have in his, like a little monkey. This thing that he have in his hand can do marks on the paper, or do marks in general. And we've been drawing with him since day one, I think. Not day one, because he still couldn't like lift his head up, but at the moment he could lift his head up, he was drawing, and I can see it, how it was all a mess. It was a chaos at the beginning, and lately, um, he developed through the time, and he started to do. I love to draw those kind of small Ninja Turtles like I drew here, and he started to do the mask. He started like to do the eyes, like to do two circles, and to put like then to color it, like to put the he was preparing the and he was saying like ninja rap and
Yeah.
and now today he's actually he is 1 year and 9 months old, and he's capable
Yeah.
of doing perfect heart shapes in different sizes, and he, we actually we draw all every day with him something different, and we remind him what he knows already, and I can see how he's, even though he's a baby, he's really small, he's a small kid, uh, he's learning everything from us, not only how we talk or how we act, or he's learning everything, and also um, um, how to draw. So I believe it's all a skill that you should, that it's maybe when you're smaller you get like the curiosity, you fed up, you had a curiosity. What I hear from your story, it's like you've seen uh, you've seen the Lion King, and it inspired you, like it sparked something inside of you, like whoa, and then you actually took action, and this is what I think blew my mind. You actually took action and paused the video and said, okay, now I'm going to draw that. I used to do the same thing, but it was with the mask. You remember the mask?
Of course, with Jim Carrey.
But I wasn't that intelligent as you. I didn't try to draw them. I was just stopping in the frame with there was Cameron Diaz, and I would kiss the screen because I was in love with her.
Yeah. Everybody was in love with her. Yeah.
But I never thought about like pausing, then like pausing the stuff and drawing from there. It's really cool, awesome. And so it leads us to the next question. It's like, do you know like a moment that you identified yourself as a painter, like you understood or said to yourself, okay, this is what I do. This I'm an artist, or I can draw, or was it in the same
Yeah.
time or later on?
Yeah. I think like I'm sure that the moment I identified myself that I want to paint, that maybe one of my destinies is to be a painter, came to me when I was a third year of animation student, and in that year I came across a book of Marco Bucci, famous, maybe not that famous, but he is famous in the industry. He's done illustrations for many Disney movies and a lot of concept art. He's himself a concept artist. Anyway, I was reading a book of him called Creativity in the Campfire, and there was one phrase in that book that sparked my imagination. He said that he loved pausing um, pausing pausing on an illustrated book when you have that book of fantasy of knights and princesses. So just like myself, I remember having that book of a knight who's supposed to fight a mighty dragon and rescue that princess. And you know, there's a conflict with her mother, which is a witch. So that whole book is full of creatures and fantasy. And I remember that I couldn't even read the book because it was in English, and I didn't knew English back then. I was 8 years old, I think, and I had that book. And I remember just I had a flash memory when I was in when I was college and reading that book, that I like to stop at pictures and draw a story out of them. Like they really sparked my imagination. So that was like one stage of thinking maybe I can paint. Maybe I will be a painter. But then not but after that, I remember that I always, how can I say that in short, that I always love to open that family albums when you have that pictures of your family that your mother is always keeping, you know, somewhere in her drawers. So I like to rekindle that moments that were captured in time. So
When you were
that
drawing the drawings of the, like recreating the paintings of the books you liked.
um, um that's the thing that I like to do today. But
Oh,
what made me understand that I like those, that I want to be a painter, is to just respark that feeling of that moment in time.
I got you. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, it's so you were, if I understood correctly, you were like 30 years old when you got it. Like you were third year in Sapir in the university. You were learning animation, and
Yeah,
in the third year,
yeah,
like you thought to yourself, okay, this is what I'm good at. And that's pretty great.
yeah. That's what I want to be. That's what I want to do, and maybe that will define who I want to be. But I just understood that this is what I want to do. I just want to draw pictures. I want to capture that moment in time. I want to move other people with steel frames. And that thought only led to a series of something that that you're an expert of, that I'm gonna ask you questions about real soon. But that led me to a series of learning and going deeper in the psychology of art, in the mastery of the skill of painting in all its forms. And here are we today. So right now I want to ask you questions, and I think these questions will help a lot of you. What do you think that makes a good learning?
Aha.
Like, what is the best way to learn something, the great way, the correct way?
Um, yeah, I'm actually learning this. I'm learning how to learn lately, and it's exactly, I realized what I've been doing right and what I've been doing wrong all those years. Learning. It's a great question, Muli. Um,
Thank you.
yeah, I would say to anyone that wants to learn. Um, first of all, it's for sure you got to put time and effort into it. Without effort, you're not going to learn anything. Just by watching, what I mean about that, it's by watching videos alone, you're not going to learn anything. Or maybe you're gonna get ideas, you're gonna get spark, you're gonna get reference, a lot of things, but inspired. But the real learning happens when you do stuff, when you try and replicate ideas, when you try and describe things that you understand. Um, what you're doing now, creating forms out of your head, is a great way to learn. You're recalling. It's a matter of learning that's been proved by specialists that when you recall information, you're remembering it better. So you're recalling now the structure of a human body, and you're doing it in a really interesting way. Um, and this is the way how Muli, how you know the human figure. This is how you understand it, and this is how each and one of us can learn. Like we need to understand it by our thoughts and by our process of thinking. So yeah, this is. I think this is.
Wow.
Yeah, we need to process the stuff. And there is a really cool also thing that I didn't know, called spacing. When you space out what you're doing, like let's say we're learning gesture drawing, okay? And we're doing
Yeah.
gesture drawing for an hour and learning and learning and learning, and then it will be really good for us to take a break and tackle something else. Go ahead and learn like I don't know, painting, colors. And while we were learning different subjects, uh, one near to each other, our brains we are making connections and understanding how colors relate to gesture, or how form. How where do I see form when I draw gesture, and how I treat forms when I do gesture. And so it's really good to also to make it complex. I said it's going to be hard to learn something new, so we need to make it complex, and also we need to have spacing. We need to take a break, to have a good sleep, to do naps in the afternoons. I heard Salvador Dali was using sleep for a method of diffuse mode. Like he will go and focus and learn how to draw now really good clocks, and understand how everything works out with the perspective and everything. I don't know, and he will learn really with high focus something that he would like to draw, and then he will go and sit on his couch and take a nap. For a few minutes, I don't remember the technique he used to not totally fall asleep, just like being relaxed and still thinking about what he was drawing clocks. And uh, and and this one of those times when he woke up, or when he bring himself back to work, to the painting, then he started to do those those super interesting clocks, melting clocks that we know today as being like something like an icon of art. And I think this focus in diffuse mode is also something that we need to use, and and in play between them. We can't be in both at the same time, but we need to take time to address both of those states that we learn, those ways of learning, so we can learn effectively, and so we can stay in long-term memory. Um, and I would say one more thing. Of course, when we are learning something, it's really important to have the foundations and the basics clear. And this is something that we talk about a lot. We talk a lot about who we learn from and what we like about it. And yeah, there is those core elements, core foundations, core bricks that if you take in any subject and learn them, it will make everything, the construction on top of it, much more stable, beautiful, much more free. Like you can express yourself much more freely once you have all the tools and you know how to use
Mhm.
them. Yeah, thank you for this question,
Mhm.
Amuli. Uh, do
Go on.
do I don't know. What do you want me to tell more about it? What are you curious about?
Um, what what is your advice to someone who just learned something and is feeling like he's doing the same thing over and over, and he wants to reinvent himself? He wants to learn further. He's keep doing the same stuff, drawing the same head, drawing the same facial features over and over without any success of making something that is new. Would you recommend that artists to do?
What what you're talking about is going out your comfort zone. Like it's also like a big thing to learn. You need to after you getting comfort with the subject or anything you're drawing or painting, you need to challenge yourself to make it hard again. For example, if someone is used to do portraits with pencils, I know that I was used to do pencil portraits for a long time.
Yeah.
Try doing it with a brush. Trying doing it with watercolors. With you can switch materials, and
Hmm.
also think about the subject that you're doing. If you've always have been doing like figurative stuff, you can maybe go and do nature. If you're doing a lot of nature, you can maybe try some abstract, like I'm trying to do now. I never did any abstract digitally, but I really like what you're doing, so I'm trying it too. So yeah, I'm going out of my zone, my comfort zone as we are talking now, and it's awesome. I think it's great. We learn from it, we develop from it. What for example now what my brain now is thinking it's how interesting abstract drawing is with it's all like my brain tells me it's all about composition. It's all about composition. There is something about abstract art that really it's everything about how you place those uh, those mark in relation to each other that creates something interesting. Um, yeah, going back to the subject of learning and going out of your comfort zone, of course, it's the best way to learn. Is to go out of your comfort zone. It's to test yourself on the knowledge you have. We don't like tests. We don't like being tested, but it's a good thing for us. We can use those ancient way of learning that you know we had it in school in university, but they test us on subjects that we don't really want to remember afterwards. For me, I can tell that not all of them. Here you can test yourself on something that you like, and it will make your our learning like greater. Yeah. Um, it's a recall. When you test yourself, actually, it's the same way as recalling information. It's like you've been doing like earlier. You've been drawing like those. Um,
There's figures.
yeah, at the beginning, I was thinking you were drawing Wolverine,
Yeah, I did.
and then you change it into a fantasy, like a French Frazetta fantasy-looking guy.
Yeah. Another question I got for you, I think it's a more personal question. What are the qualities in person that you look for when someone is working with you? Like what those qualities um, what is that thing that will spark in you that you say to yourself, okay, here's someone who is serious with himself. Even though he's not a great artist, he's a young artist yet, but here are good qualities to start and work with.
uh, I need to see the spark in the eye. I need to see passion. I need to see someone that fell in love with it. I need to see someone that experience. I don't want to see talent. I want to see curiosity. Curiosity, I would say this is the key word for anything. If there is enough curiosity and with a good structure, you can put this curiosity and like let it bloom and discover what this person can achieve, developing his skills. Um, so yeah, I would say curiosity and just being a nice person. Like actually anything that I'm describing right now, it's you, Muli, because I really like you, and you're a curious
Yeah.
person. And the I think this is also one of the reasons why we wanted to do this live. We started by doing those live, those meetings. It's we wanted to share with the world, our curiosity, our talks that we, because you make me more curious, and I share with you also stuff that I learn and do, and I'm sure that sparks also curiosity in you, and I
Mhm.
think this is surrounded. I try to surround myself with people that help me grow and bloom, where in the direction of where I want to be in the future, and it helps a lot. You've been
Yeah.
a real great inspiration for me during the years, and you are still an inspiration, and I love working with you. Um,
Me too.
because it's you're a respectful person. You know, you also taking in consideration all the aspects. You're not just like an artist. You're also a good human being, and this is the most important
And
part.
yeah, I think that is very relatable. What you're saying, um, those last things that you said about being nice and being a considerate person. I think that there are points in your career that's extremely important, not just important, but extremely important. For example, you never know when you can find yourself talking to another person who is at this time, at this moment, is a lot more influencer than you. Like he has more influence, power than you. He can make things happen. He can assist you to make things happen. Um, we all as an artist, mainly as painters, we can be lone wolf. Like we can go by ourselves. We can create our own world. So it's logical that we can think that way, that we can do all by ourselves. But um, once you step out of that mindset of doing stuff by your own and be closed, be all by yourself, thinking that you're going to create that next amazing piece if you sit only by yourself, closed in a closed room, not socializing, not being around other artists, um, you might find yourself exhausted. Like you might find yourself doing nothing essentially. You might learn some stuff, you might do some stuff, you might make some good stuff, but things happen when you cooperate, when you share, when you open yourself, when you're vulnerable to others, then you allow others to connect with you, because it's impossible to connect with other people if they're put their shield on. If they're wielding their shield on, then there is no way. Like everybody, anyone just bringing forward what he can do and the stuff he's good at, and nobody connects with nobody that time. So being nice and vulnerable and sharing is key, because this can help you just find the right circles that you need, and might want before you know you wanted, with other great artists. Such as I opened myself to you when I met you for the first time. Like nobody knows that, but we started working together online. Like I never saw you. I remember that I was in panic that I needed a caricature artist for an event that I already told the producer, yeah, I got a painter. I will give you the name in a short time. And I was looking through the internet, and I came across with you because I was looking for an artist, a painter. I don't remember how even, and I got to your Facebook page, and then I was looking at your personal page, like your business page, which is a great. By the way, that's a tip for everyone. It's a great way to say to the world, "Here I am. This is what I can do now. This is my best work and my sketches also. But here is what I can do. Here's my portfolio. Here I am before you even talk to me." So looking at your work and giving you the call, this is what made all their history. The rest is history because that was led me to giving you a call. So I give you that call, and we start working together for years. Like a year passed by. We were working around 2 to 3 years consecutively. We were giving work to each other, and we never met. And we're in the same country. Yeah, everybody know we are in Israel on the same continent,
Really small
and
country too.
and yeah,
We didn't make any
and we
effort to
never
meet each
met
other.
each other. So we are keep working together. We're talking over Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp, and just recently, I think 1.5 year ago or 2 years ago, maybe we in the Corona in the COVID time, we met each other in a gas station, and I saw Josh in his car for the first time, and he was looking entirely different from his profile picture in Facebook because he had a goat beard more than he have right now. Um,
It's true.
so, okay, imagine yourself meeting a person, not a new person, but meeting in person a guy that you never met, but you talk to him, and you mainly talk to him business. So now what you do? You can do either stuff. Now it's important to know that we didn't meet each other for the sake of meeting each other. We were meeting each other because there was an extra work that we need to do. So we exchanged stuff there. It could have been a brief moment where I meet you, Josh, and give you those papers, and you give me that thing, and okay, we shake hands and we say goodbye. But no. So I think I want you to imagine what were you doing, not you, Josh, but the viewers. I want you to imagine what you were doing in that situation. You have several options. You can go meet him, shake hands, 2 minutes, say bye bye, and keeping that level of status in relationship of your colleague the same. Um, maybe you can. Another option is you can really take the time and meet the person your first time seeing him, and you're getting to know him, and that person might share stuff that you, of course, you never knew before because you weren't going deeper in that level of conversation, and now you're in person and you have that time. You have no filters. You're here with him, and and it's up to you. So if you decide to open yourself to other people, you might change the course of action, the direction of what stuff gonna happen, and it might be great. It might be great stuff may happen.
Yeah, like what's the worst that can happen? Great stuff can happen. Yeah, I remember this day. I remember the gas station that we saw each other and like, hey, you're an interesting guy. I remember you like I remember when you actually contacted me. I wasn't expecting it because my self-esteem was really low this period of time, especially was what I was doing, drawing. I love drawing people. I was drawing people for a long time, but I didn't really like the results of what I was creating. But I was still stupid or brave enough to post it out there and to make a business page because I knew I really
Mm.
wanted to work in this kind of I actually this is how I started doing caricatures. I was a student. I think I talked about it in the first episode. I'm not sure about it. The student part when I went outside and in Jaffa Gate in Jerusalem and I started like drawing people with a piece of paper near where I was sitting saying 25 shekels for a drawing. And
Yeah.
even doing that, I was terrified. I was going completely against my instinct, completely going out of my comfort zone, and it made me grow a lot. It made exactly what you said before. I allowed myself to be vulnerable, that to people to see that my skills, even though I don't believe in them or never mind what, I went out there and I was vulnerable. I was to people like seeing what I'm doing and commenting about it directly to my face, saying what I think, and this vulnerability made me super stronger till today. All the events that we've been doing till today, the they're making me stronger. I think mainly because of the vulnerability that we get when we paint or draw in front of people, um,
Yeah.
and I love it.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, great, great. That's a major part of it. Being vulnerable. That's a great thing that you did that there. And here it is. Um, prove itself.
yeah, for sure. And relationships, what you said also is I think it's key. Yeah, so actually it's been an hour now, so we need to wrap it out. There is still a lot of questions that I want to ask you. You talked about social life and paint and being an artist or painting and draw because it demands us also to practice a lot, and there's not always persons like friends of people that will be there for you and practice like we are practicing right now. And this is the thing that I think we also hope to be for you. We want to be companions in your journey of developing and being a better artist. And this is why we don't put any music on the background. You can put whatever music you like to hear. You can paint alongside with us. And for the next episode, I will be asking Muli about his social life and some other questions I have here. Thank you, Muli, for this amazing episode and your time and your wisdom that you share with us. And see you next week.
Thank you, Josh. I really enjoyed that. See you next time, bro.
Bye, brother.